Am I the asshole for calling out a woman at the brewery? Editing as someone in the comments said that I should add this information. This was not a restaurant. This was an actual brewery, taproom that brews and serves its own craft beers. Where I live they are forbidden by state law to serve food of any kind. The only non-alcoholic drink they are legally permitted to serve is water, and that is required by state law to be provided free of charge. The taprooms that we go to that allow children, families have a separate area that is for families only, this one did not. Also, for those that keep asking why we did not move, had we known that this group had children we would have moved, no questions asked. They moved before we had the chance to even get up and switch tables. I never asked them to leave or move. I only told the woman who originally asked us if she could have the table that it would have been nice of her to let us know they had kids. Lastly, I have children myself. The conversations we have, games we play are oftentimes not kid-friendly. I do not know of any parent who would want to have their kids listen to a group of adults playing Cards Against Humanity or how an emesis bag leaked and ruined a pair of shoes. So we absolutely would have moved because we would not want little ears to hear inappropriate things. My husband and I meet with a group of friends, 8 people total, every Friday. We choose a brewery and meet there for a couple of beers and play games. Cards Against Humanity, Uno, Trivial Pursuit. Just a fun night with friends, and an all-around good time. We are all in our 30s and 40s, some of us have small kids, others, like us, are empty nesters. It's an adult-only thing, so the friends in the group that have small kids get babysitters so that we can have adult time. We went to the brewery last week. It's about an hour-and-a-half drive for 4 out of the 8 of us, that we have wanted to try for almost a year. My husband and I got there first and found a large picnic-style table that was close to the bar while we waited for our group to get there. It was basically two large picnic tables side by side, and you could easily fit our group on one table and another large group on the other. While we were waiting, a woman approached us and asked if she and her group could take the other side of the table. We told her yes, and she signaled for her friend partner. He came to the table and he had an infant carrier and was holding the hand of a toddler. I immediately looked at my husband and said, it would have been nice of her to mention that they had kids with them. A few minutes after they sat down, the rest of their group, 6 people in total, came to the table and each of them had kids with them. One of the kids, who was about 2-3 years old, was screaming to be put down and immediately started running when they did. I was pretty upset and told the woman that it was really not cool of her to not even mention that their entire group had small children and that there were plenty of other tables that would have accommodated them in the taproom. They ended up moving tables, but not after the partner of the first woman said it was not cool of me to make them move tables. My husband said that I was out of line, and when we told this to our friends, they were split, with half of them agreeing that it was not okay for them to not say anything about the kids, and the other saying that there is no rule against having kids in the taproom, so I should have just let it go. So am I the asshole for calling out a woman at the brewery? You are the asshole. Why would it be her responsibility to tell you who was all in their party? If you don't ever want to be around children, don't go into the outdoor world. You are the asshole. If you had specific requirements for the quality of people using the table, then you should have grilled her initially. I'm confident she would have run away from you instantly. You are the asshole. She asked if her party could share the table. You said yes. Kids are allowed in her party. If you were that concerned with who was sitting on the other side of the table, you should have either said no or asked how big her party was. Something along those lines, instead of making up some made-up social rule to be angry at them for violating. You are the asshole because this is a new place for you and you're acting like you own the place. Who cares if they didn't say they had kids? It's not your place to decide who sits where. Appa's right, kids are a pain in restaurants, and they shouldn't be in a brewery in the first place. Am I the asshole for not making child-inclusive plans that someone in my friend group can't attend? Howdy guys, recently my friend group has been divided on an issue. I have a group of 6 friends and their significant others from high school. All of us are in our mid-20s. The only person in our friend group is Jessica, who has 2 young children and is a single mom. I'm the only person in my friend group that can host, as my husband and I own a decent-sized house and don't have anything stopping us from hosting, I guess. One doesn't want to host, 2 live with their parents and can't, another has roommates that won't let them, etc. We all live in a rural area, so there isn't really anywhere to go for more than a quick dinner, so someone hosting is the only way we can all hang out really. When I host it's always later in the day, around 7 p.m.-ish. That's when most of us are off work. I also have a no children rule for my house, since my dog is afraid of children and I honestly don't like kids anyways. My nephew yanked my dog's tail several times, so now my dog growls at kids. I had a gathering last weekend, a dinnertime barbecue. Everyone was invited. Same rules as norm. Jessica asked if she could bring her kids, because she can't afford a babysitter and since both of their dads aren't involved at all. I said no, because of my dogs and also because I don't want her baby and toddler at my house. The last time she brought them she kept trying to push them off on other people who didn't want to hold them so she could relax. Also her toddler puked on my 5K white couch, which I had to replace. No, she didn't pay for it. Jessica blew up on me in the group chat, and said that I always exclude her. I told her I'm not excluding her, I'm excluding kids. All kids. She's welcome to come if she finds someone to watch her kids. I also told her she's welcome to host. She kind of went on about how none of that is possible and now she isn't talking to anyone. Our group is split, half think it's my house my rules. One said maybe if she screwed better guys she'd be able to have a babysitter. And two think that I should just let her kids come. To be honest, if it was someone else I would maybe cave. But I don't like Jessica that much, especially since she didn't pay for my replacement couch. Am I the asshole for making child-not-friendly plans that someone in my friend group can't make it to? Edit. I got the couch professionally cleaned and they couldn't get the very large stain out. Update. After reading all of your comments I've realized I'm tired of dealing with Jessica. I'm going to tell her she's no longer welcome at my home and ask her to pay for my couch. If she doesn't then we can go to court about it. Another edit. You guys are really mad I like nice white couches. But I'll give further info. 1. I considered having the couch reupholstered but the cost to have it shipped out, fixed, and shipped back cost over $5,000 so it was cheaper and easier to buy a new one. 2. Yes, I have a white couch and a dog. My dog knows not to go near the couch. I've had the couch for 2 years without incident, it was fine till Jessica's kids showed up. 3. I didn't invite Jessica and her kids. I said no kids are allowed, and she showed up with her kids while I was in the bathroom and set her kids down on the couch. Her kid then puked all over it. In ta bordering on esh. She should be watching her kids and paying for the property they damaged. That being said, the comments about her reproduction choices is not kind. Not the asshole, you don't want kids in your house and you are free to make the rules. That you weren't compensated when damage was caused by her kids affirms your choice. Also, the friends who said she should screwed better guys are a-holes. After that sofa incident, yeah, I'm with you. Not the asshole. Not the asshole she decided to have kids and life changes. You have a few valid reasons for saying no, but the only reason needed is simply that you don't want kids there. You are the asshole, you cannot want kids at your house and not be an asshole about it, you didn't though. And you don't need to replace a 5K couch because of vomit. I've worked with restoration for a long time, you're just making up stories. Stop being this woman's friend. You admitted you don't like her, she deserves better than you and your snobby friends. Am I the asshole for causing a scene when my mom threw away my teddy bear? Throw away since I definitely don't want this to be linked to my main, even though I know my parents won't see it. Edit. Thank you for the advice on how to clean stuffed bears. If I'm unable to do it myself, I'll look in a company that can restore stuffed animals also. I'm asking if my overreaction makes me an asshole. Not for having a stuffed animal at my age and that I should grow up. I will be disgrading those comments. 19 female, am in college. I'm just finishing up my first year. 10 years ago, my first childhood friend gifted me a white teddy bear with a cute little black dress and a bow on her right ear. I always had her on my bed and I would take her on any vacations whenever I'm staying the night. It's been well known in my family that she's a sentimental item to me. My old friend and I don't speak anymore and we have lost touch, but I still kept the teddy bear. In 5th grade, I was gifted a red, fluffy jacket from my grandma and I almost wore it every day. That, too, became a sentimental item. However, after middle school, my mom decided to throw it away. I was extremely mad at her and didn't speak to her for a day or two. So this isn't the first time she threw away a sentimental item. Now, yesterday, I noticed my bear wasn't on my bed as normal. I searched around and just couldn't find her. She didn't fall underneath my bed and she didn't get up and just walk away. I asked my sister, but she didn't know. So then I asked my mom and she said she threw it away. I instantly panicked. I went over to the trash and saw it's been taken it. I went into the garage and looked through the garbage bin and found it inside a trash bag. I ripped it open and took her out. She was so dirty, gross, and smelled so horrible. There was a lot of liquid all over her fur. I started to break down and went back upstairs. I yelled at my mom for doing this. She knew how special she was to me and she thought it was a good idea to throw it away since I was too old to be having stuffed animals. I cleaned her off in the bathroom sink, but she's still gross. Her white coat is now stained and I'm absolutely furious. She isn't the same anymore. I was ranting, crying, and slamming doors shut. My mom called my dad and after he got home from work, he yelled at me for screaming at my mother. I got grounded and they took my laptop away. I only managed to convince them to keep my phone was because of work and I needed my boss and co-workers to text me. My sister even commented on how I overreacted. The whole ordeal lasted a few hours of me sobbing and trying to clean her to the best of my abilities. She's back on my bed, but my sister is annoyed, my mom is crying, and my dad is angry at me. I'm not too sure if I did overreact or not. Everyone in the household is annoyed at the tantrum I threw. I texted one of my friends and he has my back, but my whole family doesn't like me right now. I don't know what to do. I'm tired and exhausted from the judgmental stares. Did I overreact? Am I the asshole for causing an unnecessary scene and making it bigger than it is? Not the asshole. There are a lot of things your mom is justified in doing under her house, her rules. Throwing away your possessions is not on that list. That was a huge violation of your boundaries and your, already bruised, trust. Families run on mutual trust and your mom blew that, big time. I'm betting a lot of your reaction has to do not just with your cherished bear, but with the feelings that come from a serious boundary violation. Source: I'm a parent of young adult children near OP's age, and our house is peaceful because we don't do crap like that to each other. Not the asshole. So you're grounded, at 19, WTF, because you yelled at your mom and she cried? No. Your mom went into your bedroom and put your small stuffed animal in a disgusting trash bag so that it's now basically ruined for no reason at all. That's cruel. Not the asshole. She hurt you and purposely took away and threw away a very sentimental item, not for the first time, and you're allowed to be upset. Maybe see if you can get it dry cleaned? Not the asshole. I would be upset too. Why did your mother feel the need to go through your stuff and throw some of it out? Was your room a mess and she was just tidying? Not the asshole. You are an adult. Your parents clearly don't think of you as being a separate human being from them, let alone as being an adult. Your dad seriously thought he had the power to ground another adult and take away an expensive tool? And regardless that it's their house, your mom doesn't have the right to go into your room, steal your things, and throw them away. She does not get to decide whether you're too old to have something, and it's a standard abuse technique to expect the abuse victim to not call out the abuse for what it is. My suggestion would be to get a job and save up enough money to move out ASAP, and consider going LC or even NC with your parents. They are not healthy for you. Am I the asshole for eating sardines for lunch every day at work? I'm 31 years old and morbidly obese, 6 feet 0 inches and 315 pounds at my highest, and I have several health problems as a result. Hypertension, on 3 medications, all max dose, GERD, on a medication. Sleep apnea. Use CPAP every night. Erectile dysfunction, which arguably sucks more than anything else. Last time I had routine blood work was over a year ago, and my cholesterol was above normal, but not high enough to need medication. My blood sugar was okay, thank God. But I'm due for more blood work soon, so hopefully that's still the case. Anyway, I've been trying to eat healthier, and after a lot of trial and error, I've settled on the following lunch. 1 can of sardines, 2 soft-boiled eggs, marinated in soy sauce, mirin, and sake. Also known as ajitsuke tamago. 3 0.75-ounce pieces of Cabot seriously sharp cheddar cheese, 20 grape tomatoes, 3 mini cucumbers, sliced and seasoned with tahini, 20 black grapes. This lunch has struck the perfect balance of 1. Relatively cheap. The cheese is more expensive than I'd like, but everything else is reasonable. 2. Relatively easy, fast to prepare. The eggs can be a pain to peel and have to be marinated for 24 hours, but everything else can be prepared pretty quickly in the morning. 3. Tasty. I legitimately enjoy eating all 6 of these foods and haven't gotten tired of them yet. And 4. Healthy. It's a very nutritious, balanced mix of foods. I've been doing this for a few weeks and have lost about 10 pounds. The problem is that some of my coworkers dislike the smell of the sardines in the break room. Today one of them finally confronted me about it and said that I need to stop eating those around other people. I said that sardines are a normal food and that I have just as much a right to eat my lunch in the break room as anyone else. She said that if I bring them again next week, then she's going to file a formal complaint with my boss. Honestly, I'm not willing to give up my sardines, nor do I feel like I should have to. They're a bona fide wonder food. In addition to being a strong source of healthy protein and omega-3s, they're also a wonderful source of vitamins and minerals, including things that can be lacking in other foods like calcium and vitamin D, and since they're at the bottom of the food chain, you can eat them every day without having to worry about mercury poisoning like with tuna. And they taste great to boot. So my question is, am I the asshole if I ignore her demands and continue to eat sardines in the break room? P.S. Some people might ask why I don't just go to my car to eat. I would actually prefer that option even if this whole fiasco hadn't occurred because I'm very introverted, but unfortunately our building and parking lot are both massive, so I'd end up spending half of my break walking back and forth and wouldn't have time to eat, especially since I like to savor my food. And on top of that, the summer is coming up, and I'm not keen on going outside because I sweat profusely at my weight. You are the asshole. Your preferred lunch is taking away the enjoyment from other workers during their lunch break. That's not fair to them. Info: have you talked to your doctor about this diet? Smelly fish is often a no-no in close quarters. Have you considered trying another sardines brand? Maybe one kept in oil instead of tomato? You are the asshole. You don't bring stinky fish to work. I was always told that it is an unwritten rule that you don't bring stinky lunches to a shared eating place. Sardines, garlic, onions. Don't get me wrong, I love sardines and boiled eggs, but both together can make it smell like a bathroom accident. What I would suggest is going to your boss before she does and see if there might possibly be an alternate eating area for you. It would make you look like the bigger person seeking a remedy for this, and it would let your boss know that you are working on your health. You are the asshole. Sardines and eggs, particularly eggs you say that you have marinated, are stinky. Well done for the weight loss, but perhaps you could reconsider walking to your car for lunch at least occasionally. The steps will help the weight loss and bring you closer to not having to eat stinky foods at work.